500. That's quite a pretty picture, if I say so myself. Let's talk about the broader markets. Not too much to speak of here. You have the mid-cap index that's just about 0.1% higher, and you have the small-cap index that's trading with gains of about 0.3% or thereabouts. Look at the contributors on the Nifty 50, and that really will elucidate what I am talking about, which is the contribution of IT. A large bulk of the gains being contributed by the top two gainers, which is Infosys as well as Tata Consultancy Services. Of course, this is on the back of the results that were presented just last evening by Tata Consultancy Services in the first quarter, and you had a more or less in-line set of numbers, with the company pushing the idea or the expectation of recovery into the fourth quarter of this current financial year, with certain issues with the conversion of those deal wins into actually getting those dotted lines signed still being a problem, and that's unlikely to go away, at least in the short term, with the kind of uncertainty that you're seeing, particularly in the US as well as in Europe. Let's listen in to what the management had to say to NDTV Profit in a conversation earlier today before we go and introduce our experts for the day. Listen in.
We keep tracking the kind of projects that we do, the kind of customer confidence in what they want to do, and what kind of projects get reprioritized. We still find some amount of volatility there. And we also seen instances where some of the projects are being paused at a shorter notice. So when that tendency reduces, right, when projects don't get paused at a shorter notice, or when reevaluation of long-standing project comes down, it will give us more confidence. But currently, customers continue to be evaluating projects, looking at which is the right place to invest. So as long as that investment with a stricter scrutiny continues at the same level, we have to be cautious.
Good morning. That was K. Krithivasan of TCS talking about the results that came out yesterday. A pretty picture for IT today. And to talk more about that, let me introduce you to the guests. We have Lancelot Tikuna, CIO, ValueX Wealth Connect, along with Rajat Bose joining us on the show today. Lancelot, coming to you first on IT and specifically TCS. We saw the results come out pretty positively. I mean, especially on the revenue front, margins still a little lower, net profit still a little lower, but seems like it has bottomed out now. And in fact, even if you look at the stock price, TCS has played catch up related to the IT index since we've seen gains of about 8% in the last 1 month, while TCS grew only 2%, but playing catch up today, up about 4.5%. Lancelot, coming to you on TCS, how are you viewing this? Has this now cycle changed for IT?
I think, the expectation of the market as far as people are concerned that things are going to be bad seems to have now been allayed, because we are seeing some improvement both in order traction as well as in, revenue growth. While EBIT margins were a little bit soft in this particular quarter, and the outlook was that it may continue to remain soft for, maybe the next 1 or 2 quarters. But at the end of the day, I think the management commentary was quite positive as far as the future growth was. And there were not too many, let's say, headwinds which were indicated that, these could slow down the progress going forward. So all in all, being a bellwether, it is a positive sign for the entire industry that TCS is doing well, and the rest of them should follow with reasonable results. And that's why we are seeing a bit of traction in terms of accumulation of the stock.
Fair point. But what's your call on TCS and on the IT pack? In fact, there are some people there are, I should say, a lot of brokerages that are positive on TCS. And there are some that are saying that they would prefer Infi over TCS. And there are some others that are saying that the mid-cap ITs are the best play. What, according to you, is the way to play this?
So, Alex, according to me, mid-cap IT has actually risen quite a bit. Most of the companies, have moved up in terms of valuations. And I think the large companies, whether it was Infosys, TCS, hadn't really participated in the up move. And so from a valuation perspective, the TCS, Infosys do offer better value proposition as compared to the mid-cap IT stocks. And I think we still have to see that whether there is that kind of growth in the mid-cap space which will justify the higher valuations. Otherwise, you may see some correction, creep in many of the mid-cap stocks, because if the results are not really are not really giving confidence that the high valuations can be sustained given the growth perspectives, then you may see some correction in some of these stocks as well.
Right, but just to complete that point, is it a buy at all on TCS Infy at this point, or would you wait?
So I think TCS Infy one can add to your portfolio. Again, it all depends on in terms of what kind of exposure you have to the IT sector. But one can be overweight on the IT sector and increase exposure to TCS, Infosys, because you are getting these stocks at a reasonable valuation. And if one is looking to buy into the mid-cap space, then one should wait for a while, let the results come out. If there is a confirmation that growth is still going to be strong enough to justify the higher valuations, then one can looking at adding some of the mid-cap as well in the IT space. But yes, definitely IT space is going to be something that will provide higher earnings going forward, especially given the influx of AI in the IT bouquet of services.
Okay, interesting. All right, on that note, it's time to slip into the queries segment. And by the way, if you've got questions for us, you can send them to us on that number that you see flashing on your screen. It has been, and quite a few of you have written in already. If you're writing for the first time, do not forget to tell us your name as well as the location that you're tuning in from. The first question we're taking is from Apurv. And Rajat, sorry to keep you waiting. This one's for you. It's on Apollo Tyres. And Apurv has bought at levels of 538. The stock is trading not too far away from that mark. He's wondering what to do for the next 1 month.
Well, regarding the short-term movement of Apollo Tyres, I would say that Apollo Tyres can move up from here, but it needs to take out 560. Currently 520, but there will be some resistance between 540 and 550. But you can expect major move to happen only when it sustains above 560. And as of now, one should maintain a stop loss below the 50-day moving average, which is currently around, say, 500. So below 500, you put a stop loss and carry on, because there is every possibility that it might just push up and cross 540, 550 levels.
Right. Coming back to you, Rajat, on Ratan India Power. The question is from Anirban, who's writing in from West Bengal. They bought the shares at an average price of 11.5. Now, it's currently trading above that price, but seems to be in a bit of a downtrend. What would you suggest doing with the counter? Would you continue holding on to it? The specific question is, do you see it go beyond 19?
Suppose this is an operator-driven stock, because now it is on a downtrend from early June. But before that, it used to hit circuit after circuit, sometimes downside circuit. And then after hitting high around, say, 21, around that level, it has come down to 15, 16 level. If it were to fall below 15 decisively, there will be further fall, and that fall might take it down to 14 level. This is not an investment play, because these kind of stocks will remain in the operator's hands for a long period of time. After that, when the supply is fully absorbed, then these kind of stocks move up. There are n number of stocks of these kind that gives this type of circuit after circuit kind of movements.
Fair point. All right. So caution is advocated by Rajat. Tata Steel is the next counter we're talking about, and this is to Lancelot. Lancelot, this is a question from Shashank, and he's bought at levels of 130. And the stock is currently trading above that price, of course, 168 or thereabouts. Certain issues from the overseas business notwithstanding, is this a good company to hold for the long term?
Yes, Alex, I think it is a good opportunity to continue to hold for the long term, because, while they have been trying to resolve their issues regarding the UK plant, there is significant improvement in the cash generation, and that cash which is being generated by Tata Steel is being used to pare down debt, and that's making the company financially more attractive, as well as you are seeing a significant growth in the domestic market, along with improvement in global prices for steel, which will hold the company in good stead for the next year or so. And we see that improved margins, improved cash flows will help in terms of financial, the budgets, the financial balance sheet being stronger. The company also has an expansion program in India, both in terms of debottlenecking of its plants as well as setting up new plants, and that should augur well for Tata Steel. So even in the longer term, one should continue to hold this stock.
That's a hold on Tata Steel from Lancelot. The next question is on Irida. The question is from Narendra. Now, the question is, should you continue holding on to it or should you sell? Rajat, we've seen a rally in this counter in the last year itself. It's up, over 400%. Now, while I do not know the buy price of the viewer, considering if it's a profit, should they maybe take some money off the table?
Well, that would be the best thing if one can control one's greed. But as of now, you see this movement that has started happening from late June and throughout July, this is moving up in a parabolic fashion. This kind of thing is, this suggests heady momentum in this. This momentum, when it will stop, nobody knows. But if you want to play this kind of a stock, then I would suggest you book part profits, at least your cost of acquisition for the other stocks, the remaining part remains much less, and you have risk also much less, and then carry on. And whenever there is some kind of a problematic sign on the trading activity, exit fully. That is how you play this kind of stocks.
Would you also suggest doing the same thing? Considering we've seen the valuations, now it's extremely expensive at this point, but FPI seem very positive on the counter. Would you also suggest holding on to it and maybe take some money off the table?
Lancelot, that's for you.
Oh, so as far as IRIDA is concerned, I think since valuations are high, definitely one should look at, trying to take some profits off the table. Because having bought at a lower price with profitability, you can either look at cashing out and keeping the money aside. So whenever there's a correction, you could either re-enter the same stock, or you could be presented with other opportunities that provide fair risk-reward ratio, and that money could be deployed there. So I would definitely suggest profit booking is a strong option one should look at this point in time.
Yeah, and there's no dearth of buying in the stock. It's up as much as 5% in trade today as well. The next counter that we're talking about is Cyient, and Gauri from Coimbatore is asking about this counter. She's bought at levels of 1974, which is above the current market price by just about 100 rupees or thereabouts. The stock is doing well in trade today, though. It's up as much as 4.5%. The question is, should she hold or should she exit at a loss? Rajat, what's the view on the charts?
It is Cyient, right?
That's right.
Yeah, I would say that as we talk, this stock is again posting a good recovery. In fact, it has broken its downtrend line, and it has also crossed the 20-day and the 50-day moving averages. So if it manages to close above 1850 today, then one can expect 1900 to about 1925. Only when 1925 kind of levels is decisively crossed with a lot of volume activity, then you can expect further upswing. And if that happens, the medium-term target will be 2150. As of now, I would suggest stop loss below the day's low of 2085. Right. Oh, sorry. Stop loss should be below 1789.
All right, got it. We'll slip into a short break now, but we'll take more queries on the other side. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching Ask Profit on NDTV Profit. The next query is on Inox Wind. Lancelot, coming to you on this one. The stock is on a tear today. It's up 9%, and we've seen these highs in the last couple of days as well on, I think, order wins. But the question is, should you buy the counter at this juncture, considering it has run up quite a bit in the last 1 year? If you can pull up the 1 year chart, you'll see that the counter is nearly up to 56%. So, good time to enter this counter?
So I think, while the results have also improved over the last 1 year, the pace at which the stock price has moved far outweighs, or outruns the improvement in the profitability of the company and the growth potential as well. So one should actually stay away at this point in time, wait for some correction, and only when there's a correction, you can look at it for an investment perspective. At the moment, it's a lot of momentum actually pushing the stock price up, and from an investment perspective, it's always better to wait and see that momentum subside and then only make an investment.
All right. Patanjali Foods is the next counter that we're talking about, and it's a short-term view relatively that is being sought. This is from Vikas. He's writing in from Pune. He's bought at levels of 1,677, which is not too far away from the buy price. Rajat, any specific view here?
Well, it is trading at nearly its high. From a weekly chart point of view, it is a little overbought. Now it is showing some weakness on the daily chart. If it were to fall below 1550, this will become really problematic, in the sense that then even 1500 to about 1450 would become the target on the downside. Unless it takes out 1750 decisively, I don't think that is going to happen immediately, because the charts are not suggesting anything of that kind. If it is a short-term trade and the stop loss gets hit, you better get out. Otherwise, this could create problems for the trader.
I do want to point out that we've been tracking the ongoing event in Thiruvananthapuram, and this is, of course, I'm going to struggle saying this, Vizhinjam port. A lot of the Malayalis listening to this are going to be laughing at me, but I'll get it right by the end of the day, I promise. What you're seeing is live visuals, and this is the introduction of a transshipment port, India's first transshipment port. We're soon going to hear from the shipping minister and, in fact, the managing director of Adani Ports, Karan Adani, and we'll bring you live visuals and updates as and when we get them. For now, let's talk about the next question, and this is on BEL, Bharat Electronics, and what a stock this has been. I do not know the buy price that Jay has, but he's been holding for some time. He points out the stock is currently trading at 332. The question is, should he hold on or move to something else? And I'll go to you on this one, Lancelot. What do you say about BEL?
So I think one should hold on to the stock for a while, because we have seen announcement of many orders that have come into BEL's fold. While valuations may be a little bit stretched at this point in time, as and when these orders get executed, you will see improvement in profitability, and that should then drive earnings forward, because the sustainability of these orders over a 2 to 3 year time frame is key to the high valuations remaining, at the same multiple going forward as well. And I think at this point of time, you would need to see some confirmation that maybe the order book will expand over the next 3-4 years, and that would justify remaining invested in the stock for a longer period of time.
All right, the next counter is Grasim Industries. The question is from Samir, if I'm not wrong. Yes. Rajat, coming to you on Grasim Industries, it's done fairly well in the last 1 year, up 60%, up about 1.5% today. Should you enter the stock at this juncture? What are the key levels that you should watch out for?
First, I would say that this is not the time to enter. From a technical point of view, because it has been moving up from 2200 levels early June, and from there it has reached 2844 now. So this is a one-way traffic, almost a one-way traffic. So you do not have real comfort. If it were to fall below its 9-day exponential moving average, which is currently at 2760, then there would be further fall. So my suggestion is that you wait a bit, say something like 20-day moving average 2650 or so. If it were to come down to those levels, then you buy. If you are holding it, then you can carry on. But
respected Sri Pinarayi Vizhinjam, the Honorable Chief Minister of Kerala, respected Speaker of Kerala Legislative Assembly, Sri A.N. Samsirji, respected Minister of Port, Government of Kerala, B.N. Vasavanji, and other respected minister present here today, and also the Honorable Member of Parliament, MLAs, Mayor of Thiruvananthapuram, and respected Chief Secretary of Kerala, and respected Sri Karan Adani, the Managing Director of Adani Port SCZ, and other respected officers from the state of Kerala as well as Government of India, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and my dear media friends. Namaskaram Vizhinjam, Namaskaram Kerala. I am so happy to be here today in the beautiful state of Kerala for the celebration of the arrival of the first mothership in Vizhinjam International Seaport. Malayalis are warm and hospitable in nature. Their commitment, honesty, and integrity is unparalleled. The scenic beauty of the state of Kerala and its deep cultural and artistic heritage has always enthralled me and compelled me to visit Kerala again and again. At the very outset, I would like to congratulate the Government of Kerala for its initiative and leadership in setting up of a new benchmark in the country's maritime sector by creating a new greenfield world-class port in the country. Vizhinjam Port is truly India's first deep-water international container transshipment terminal. I would also like to congratulate Adani Port SCZ for their valuable contribution towards creating a modern port infrastructure enabling reduction of logistic costs, saving transit time, and reducing our dependency of foreign transshipment port. This port project demonstrates how a successful public-private partnership between the central government, private sector, and the state government can unleash the immense potential of our maritime sector. This is one of the exemplary success stories of the PPP model in creating state-of-the-art port infrastructure. This is a big step forward in the implementation of our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi's vision of creating world-class port infrastructure in the country. As envisioned by our Honorable Prime Minister, mega port project including all-weather deep draft port at Vadavan and international container transshipment terminal at Galathir Bay are also being executed by the Ministry of Port Shipping and Waterways in a mission mood. Very soon, the country will witness the addition of these two best-in-class maritime infrastructure that will position Bharat as a leading maritime nation on the global map. The Vizhinjam port with its locational advantage being close to the international AXIM trade lanes and the deep draft capability, will be in a position to offer many operational benefit to the user that will help in positioning this port as a preferred option amongst the shipping line and AXIM traders. I am sure that the port's capability to service mega-sized container vessel with other associated services that it offers, Vizhinjam port will offer steep competition to the existing transshipment hub at Colombo and Singapore. I look forward to seeing a positive shift in the near future of some of the international transshipment cargo from Colombo and Singapore to this port at Vizhinjam. In the emerging geopolitical scenario impacting international maritime trade, this port will